And welcome back. It's time once again for 10 Weather Chat. Meteorologist Mike Simon, Todd Howell, and Daniel. Also, as usual, behind the scenes, directing everything. And thank you for joining us. You know what? Today, Mike and I were talking. We figured we'd focus on the tropics. We've had our first named storm. Got things kicked off a little bit, about right on cue. So let's talk about that. I do hope you're having a good start to your month of June. We're coming up on the summer solstice. How about it? 2 for 1 coming up Sunday. 2 for 1.
Yeah.
Father's Day
and the summer solstice.
And the summer solstice, Mike. So hope everybody's looking forward to that. I know, Mike, on a personal side note, I know you're looking forward to a particular special Father's Day coming up.
First Father's Day with the new kid. Yeah, she's 6 months old now. Yeah.
6 months. Man, it's gone by fast. How's she doing?
She's great.
Awesome.
She has the dimples. She has blue eyes like my mother.
Okay.
And she does a lot of babbling, trying to do some talking.
Yep.
Even though it's almost uneligible.
Okay.
Heck, I can't even say that myself.
It's all good.
And she does sit up, but she can't sit up by herself just yet. But once she's up, she's up.
Okay.
She's up. She's working.
Kind of the weeble. What kind of kids she's working on it? 6 months. Wow.
Yeah, it goes by almost too fast.
Yeah. Well, happy early Father's Day.
Thank
to
you.
Absolutely. Hope everybody's ready for that. Let's talk about, we're about officially into the summer season. So we've gotten the tropics starting off, and let's talk about what we're seeing as far as looking ahead. We've had the first named storm, and here's what we're looking at as far as that goes. Yeah, Arthur on the board. Now, let's see. Was it even 24 hours?
Wasn't very long. No, I don't think so.
I think it was less than that.
Yeah, because it was inland pretty quick.
It was inland in Texas. It was very quick.
And it wasn't symmetrical. I mean, it was just the circulation was well to the west of where all the convection was. And that can happen in a high
sheared
environment.
Yeah,
like
exactly. Exactly. Kind of stayed out over the Gulf a little bit more. So, yeah, Arthur formed and got up to 45-mile-per-hour winds. And that's the system, though, that's bringing a good bit of rain parts of the southeast and in Tennessee Valley as of late this week, as of the taping. But all right, so once again, here's those storm names. Maybe you can look at the list and see. By the way, this is a list for tropical storm names that are recycled, reused every 6 years, unless one is particularly damaging or devastating that it gets retired. For example, you won't see an Andrew, you won't see a Katrina, you won't see a Hugo, et cetera, et cetera.
Now, why wouldn't Marco and Polo be in the same list?
That's classic. Come on, it begs it. Yes. They need to. How could you have Paulette and not have Polo? Exactly. Well, let's see. Wait a minute, because you got to have alternating female and male. So male, female, male. Oh, that's why.
That's why.
I guess they're both Marco and I don't know. I guess Polo. That's a great question. Hey, so we got Bertha next, and then.
Cristobal.
Cristobal, that's right. I was make sure it was that instead of Cristobal. And then, of course, Dolly. Okay, we'll have an East Tennessee flavor there. We don't want any of these to be bad. It's expect to be a little bit of a slightly less active season. Super El Nino on the board. So that could make systems more active in the Pacific and less active in the Atlantic in general. And we'll talk more about that in time. Mike, you can speak to this. Here we are in the month of June. Of course, I almost speak to July. We've got June and July main development regions. So, we had Arthur briefly formed along an old frontal boundary in West Texas.
That happens a lot. It can take a while, though. Sometimes you'll have a frontal boundary that's stalled and just be watching it. It may take a week before something develops.
Exactly. Just kind of sits there and percolates over the Gulf, and then maybe something.
But I looked at the water temperatures, and this is why one of the reasons why we get the development regions in these areas. The water temperature is like bath water now in the Gulf, especially closer to Florida. It's about 85 to 87 degrees. It's pretty warm.
As a matter of fact, we got a sea surface temperature map coming right up.
Oh, you do? I didn't realize you
No, that's okay. We just put that in. So what do? We're looking ahead to July because we're cruising through June here, almost to July. 4th of July right around the corner. So we kind of broaden out a little bit. You still got your Gulf, you got your Bahamas on the eastern seaboard, mid-Atlantic, and then you've got your, Lesser Antilles and coming into the eastern Caribbean. And so, got a little bit more of the likely regions expanding out So just kind of, this is just typically, if you're going to see tropical storm development, these are the main areas as you go from June, July. So here you go, Mike. Matter of fact, you nailed it.
Yeah, they're the
85,
temperatures.
86. Look at that bathwater, especially, east central and eastern Gulf down toward Cuba.
Well, look right around Nassau and the islands of the Bahamas. It pushes up to 88.
Wow.
It's a warm one.
Man, that is definitely some bathwater. So that's, actually that pegs it pretty good. These are the average sea surface temperatures as of today's date, Thursday. But you saw that MDR region that pretty much pegged it right in the east central Gulf, where you usually have that development down into the parts of the Caribbean. So that pretty much right on cue. All right. We keep you waiting no longer. It's time for...
Hey, what?
Thank you, Daniel. Precipitable water. I love it. Hey, by the way, even in the wintertime, we're going to figure out a way to hit it, Daniel.
What?
What? We're going to figure out a way to get that in every single time. So we have fun with precipitable water. How much moisture's in the atmosphere? And it's certainly with the leftover circulation from Arthur moving up the southeast, and that's bringing some decent rain. So no wonder we're getting a good push of tropical moisture that's feeding up. Look at that in Alabama. That's more and then some.
Well, it's good. I mean, like we've mentioned before, these drought conditions across the South.
Yes.
You get the tropics active, that can help. It could cause flooding, of course.
Yes.
But it definitely saturates the ground. And we're getting a little bit of that effect.
Yes.
And with this tropical moisture as it scoots off into the Carolinas.
Absolutely. I tell you what, I think Birmingham has certainly, Alabama has certainly flipped the tide. It seems like,
they got
pun
better.
intended on that. But from Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, I mean, goodness gracious, it seems like for the last month or so, they've been getting pretty soaked. Well, that's a look at what we're looking at. We get a little bit of drier in time for Father's Day, and then looking ahead, it just kind of ebbs and flows. So, all right, here's where we go from June. We're about to be in July. Fronts still come through in the month of June. In July, Tennessee Valley can be frontal graveyard, and they pretty much put the brakes on. Not going to see too much fronts going through. So we'll get some breaks with a little bit lower humidity, but we haven't really yet. We're not really going to see that much in July.
But hopefully some better rains in July.
Hopefully better rains.
With those stalled fronts.
Yes, that's exactly right. In July, it is our wettest month of the year on average. Well, let's go back to the tropics then. So let's talk about, here's the forecast for named storms, Colorado State, 11. From NOAA, going back to May, their official outlook, they typically use kind of a broader range.
That's real broad.
That's real broad, Mike. I was trying to say that gently. You're exactly right. 8 to 14. And that's number of named storms. Number of hurricanes, 3 to 6. So, 3 or double. And major hurricanes, 1 to 3. So Colorado State, they put more of they like pinpoint it, but they do a good job.
And you got to take this with a grain of salt too sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
Because all of these could, except for Arthur, we know.
Yes, exactly.
They could all develop out in the middle Atlantic, never affect anyone.
That's a great point.
But they're forecasting for all of them, not just the ones that would affect the United States.
Great point. Forecast number developed doesn't mean what's going to hit land or be impactful or anything. Hopefully they're fish storms out to sea and don't impact many. So there's the average, 14, 7, and 3 for comparison. So a little bit, as expected, of a below average, because when you have an El Nino, that creates a little bit more shear in the Atlantic, less favorable tropical development conditions in the Atlantic versus the Pacific. In La Nina, it's opposite. That's what we've had the last few years, and it's been very active in the Atlantic. So let's talk about the hurricane frequency. I know Cassie, Nall, and Julia have also been chiming in on this as well in our weather chats. But, this is just give us an idea. The season runs from June 1st through November 30th. And, Mike, there's the peak right there on that September 10th to 11th is generally right around that tried and true time period where you see – and there's a lag. You come out of a summer season where it's the hottest, but then there's a lag where the water temperatures – take a little bit longer after peak solar insolation.
Exactly. They warm up in the mid-Atlantic, and then also the shear comes down. It gets more favorable out even in the deep Atlantic off the shore of Africa. So
that's exactly right. Then we started getting those longer track form storms that kind of come in the coast of Africa, et cetera. This is kind of a cool graphic with a lot of bling there. But here's a look. Same type thing, number of storms, just to give you, again, just a cool animation. But that's what we're looking at. Yeah, the big increase in tropical activity, that 10th to 11th. And just to kind of show you.
And that's the window if you have any tropical plans.
Oh, yeah.
That you need insurance.
I said, hey, true story. My wife, our anniversary, our wedding anniversary is the end of July. So in general, we've been on 2 cruises. We've taken those in May. 2 reasons: prices were better, not one, but also looking at the tropics.
Exactly.
I like our chances in May and in June better than once you get later in July and August, September, October. Heads up, you can do it. You can take a cruise, but taking chances a little bit more in the Caribbean. So
definitely.
Just a heads up on that. But that's why you also maybe see a price break. And here's just another percent of named storms per month, just to show you that. There you go. Clearly, August, September, and October, the winters where we see most of the activity, Mike. All right, so let's switch gears, and we'll wrap it up here in a moment. We're coming up on summer. We got the summer solstice, the longest day of the year, and the summer solstice opposite the winter solstice. Then, of course, you have the equinoxes. Equinox, equal day and night. And so summer solstice, though, look at the northern hemisphere. Look at the tilt of the Earth's axis. That's what causes the seasons. So look at the northern hemisphere.
It's at its highest angle.
There you go. Sun's at its highest angle right there. That's exactly right on the Tropic of Cancer. And then we're looking at the northern hemisphere tilted toward the sun. Ironically enough,
that's 23.5 degrees. Is that it? I don't know if I remember that.
That's 23.5. That's it. Here's the irony. So the Earth in the summer, you think, would it be closer to the sun or furthest away from the sun? It's opposite than what you may think. Actually, in the summer solstice, it's actually further away. You think, but it's not the distance from the sun. It's the tilt of the Earth's axis. That's what creates your seasons. In the wintertime, we're actually closer, but we're tilted away. So there you go. June 21st, that's Sunday, Father's Day, 4:24 in the morning. And the solstice, sol for sun, to steer, to stand still. So sun is at its highest point in the sky, like Mike said. Longest day of the year, 14 hours, 36 minutes, and the days are going to gradually get shorter until the winter solstice when we get 9 hours and 43. That's a pretty big difference.
That is a
5
big
hours
difference,
right?
You don't realize that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, that pretty much kind of takes us through what we're looking at. As we transition into the first week of summer, just wanted to show a preview of our jet stream. You know what?
Zonal, kind of.
It's kind of zonal. We get this is I'll take this. No big ridge. We hopefully get more rain chances and keep our frequency of rain chances coming as help us with the drought conditions slowly but surely, and keeps us a little bit more temperate as we move from June into July.
Not the 90-degree plus temperature.
Yeah. We know they're coming, Mike, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
As long as we can keep them at bay, that would be good. All right, that'll wrap it up for this week's Weather Chat. Daniel, Mike, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
And
thank you.
We'll see you down the trail, as John Becker likes to say.